Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino, and you can find me at www.CesarRespino.com. And today I am so excited because we have a special guest, my friend, James Lott Jr. Welcome to the show.
Thank
How
you.
are you today?
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So I just want to give you a quick overview, and he can explain this better. Just give you a quick overview. Who is James Lott Jr.? He is the jack of all trades. He has multiple podcast shows. He has a TV show. He's the social media guy. He is the media guy, period. Right? He has so much stuff going on. So why don't you just share some of the things you do so they know, more about you?
It's funny. So thanks for having me on the show. I always say I'm a James of all trades. I always say that. I'm going to try to trademark that.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm always thinking.
I like that, actually. James of all trades, not Jack. Okay,
yes. I don't know who Jack is. It's not me. Okay, so I am a person who, that's the easiest way I say this. I'm a blanketer. So I do a lot of stuff in media and entertainment and in life coaching, professional organizing. So I have two companies, the Super Organizer and JLJ Media. Both those companies have an umbrella over a bunch of ventures that I do, including about 9 podcasts, 2 TV shows, 13 books, 4 albums, 3 EPs, and a host of all kinds of other things that I do on the side. I've done some movies, TV, some acting. Then also, and just if that is not enough, I am on social media. I'm on social media a lot, and I am on every platform you can think of, from Facebook to Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube channel, and I'm now on TikTok.
Wow!
And I've kind of been conquering TikTok all of a sudden. I'm becoming a hit on that, where I post tips and things. I don't do dancing videos or anything like that.
That's me.
Yes, yeah, he does dancing videos. I might do dancing videos at some point, but I have 2 series on there. I'm on Facebook. I mean, I literally just cross it. So I do a lot of different things, but I do a lot of different things.
So, wow. And you know what? And he missed some stuff. I mean, he actually does more than that too.
Yes.
He has a couple of albums too.
Yes.
So he recorded albums in English and in Spanish. So
too.
he has a Spanish background. So
yes.
How do you do all this? Like, I like, man, that many books, that many podcast shows. When do you find the time to do that?
So I always tell people that I get 8 hours of sleep. I sleep every night.
Okay.
So I make the most of my time while I'm awake.
Got it.
That's what I always tell people. It's very much making the best use of my day. So I have 3 categories. One is must do today. The other one is would like to do today, but can we move to tomorrow if necessary? And then there is, if I don't get to it today, it's still going to be done within the week, but I can move it around when I need to. And those 3 categories work well for me because I literally map out my day and then I just get things done. Lists are always great. I write down stuff. I don't have it in front of me, but I write down stuff. I just start mapping everything. And usually at the beginning of the week, I look at my week. Almost like people do meal prep.
Yep.
Beginning of the week, I go, okay, how's my week look? And now my week can change. Things can happen. Things drop, things add. But for the most part, I look at the skeleton of the week and go, okay, this is what's going on. And then that's mostly work stuff and actual being in the field doing things. But content creating is a different story. So in the middle of that, that's when I start putting in time to write a book, time to record an album, time. And a lot of times it is almost spontaneous in a weird way within the schedule.
Yeah.
I leave enough time in the schedule to have time that I can play with.
Got it.
I try to be super strict. Because I think for me, life isn't that way.
Right.
Life is super strict. So, and creativity comes when it comes. I always have notebooks like this It says Hope on it. You can't see it, but it says Hope. I have notebooks. I have pads. I'm always writing down ideas. So, yes, I'll tell you something right now. So, I was on the train, and all of a sudden, an idea for a song came. So, I'm just going to read. They're just anybody else. This is like my process. This is a piece of lyric. I don't know what's going to do with it yet, but it's for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So, I wrote, Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. Let's be kind on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. Will you be mine on Valentine's Day? I wrote a couple other things, but I'm just kind of like, so I write down these ideas, and then at some point I work on them. But the creativity comes when it comes. It comes at 3 in the morning sometimes. I may wake up a dream. I'll pick up my phone and record a lyric. Or like one morning I woke up and I had this dream of the word depressed horse. Don't know what that means. I don't know what it's going to go with. But I write it down, I put it aside. So the creativity is always part of my life. I just feel creative all the time. Right. I'm always creating something. It's just a part of my life. But I schedule stuff really carefully.
So let me ask you two things. So then you obviously you have a way of categorizing or putting yourself a kind of like a set schedule or things that you got to do, like must do, can move forward, whatever. Yeah. So that's part of your organizing yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And then the notebook, do you carry that with you all the time? Or
yes.
You right? So yes. That's very and now that you mentioned, that's actually one of the things that I hear a lot from very successful people, that they do a lot, right? I know Richard Branson, he talks about always carry a little notepad with you, because you just never know. Like you said, you don't know where you're going to be. You're going to have that one idea and you have to write it down. A lot of times we tend to believe that we're going to remember those things. I'm like, oh, I'll remember that next time.
I'm old, man. I can't remember all the time.
Exactly, right? So that's why it's good to have that. So that's actually a pretty good, habit to have a notepad or some sort of journaling on a day-to-day basis, or just write down all your ideas. And then I also like to have the fact that you have a habit to have more or less a structure of how you're structuring your day, your week, or whatever the case may be. So you're kind of target planning, or you're creating goals and targets, and you're shooting for those things, which is very, very critical on any of that stuff. So that's awesome. So let me ask you this though. After doing all this stuff that you're doing, though, you were not doing this before. Like how long have you been doing this? and let's talk about that. Like, how did you stumble on getting to this? Because a lot of the people that are going to be watching this is like, they might be stuck. They might be like, am I too old? Am I too young? Did I not have the knowledge? Like, how did I start? Like, you obviously, let's talk about that.
Yes. Very good question. So that's why I'm glad you brought it up, because I tell people this all the time. I was on a podcast yesterday where I talk, it keeps being brought up for me. I'm 50 years old. I know I don't look it.
Wow.
I'm very fortunate. I'll be 51 in a few months. I didn't start this till I was 40.
Wow.
So I was telling people, when I hear young folks go at 27, oh my God, I'm so old, I gotta be done by 30, I want to slap them.
Yeah.
And I want to slap them lovingly, because I want to tell them, it's okay. I know you're feeling your age, but literally you're not old. Like, you have time.
I feel old. My birth just passed, and I do.
But don't. In terms of your goals, you should never stop dreaming. I have an aunt who's in her almost 80, and she never stops dreaming.
Wow.
And that's kind of the point. Is that as long as you wake up every morning and have a breath in your system, you can work out. You can work it out. And I think the lesson about people watching me, 40 years old, I was a farm and ag insurance specialist for an insurance association. I wanted to gouge my eyes out and rip out my hair. I didn't have that much. And my stomach hurt every day. And I literally had to learn how to trust my gut.
Got it.
When I figured the job was not serving me anymore, and I wasn't really serving the job anymore, it was just like paper pushing, I left. During the recession in 2008, everybody thought I was crazy, but I knew my happiness was much more important. I was making myself sick. When I gave notice, my stomach stopped hurting. Literally within 5 minutes, it stopped hurting. So trust your gut.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then I was looking for the weekend. I work Monday through Friday, work for the weekend. I drank all night. All these things I was doing that were not healthy things, all because I didn't like my job or where I was. I was in San Francisco. I was tired of living there. I hated the weather after a while. Great city, but I hated the weather. And I just learned you got to take a leap of faith. And I thought 40 is a good time to do that. I'll just do it. And give people like, you can't do that at 40. Oh my goodness. I'm like, you're not too old. 40 is not that old. there are people like
Colonel Sanders started his KFC at I think it was 50 or 65 years old, and is one of the largest franchise. So again, yeah, you're never, you know.
I think an actress like Isabel Sanford, who played Louisiana Jefferson, she was in her, I think, 50s. B. Arthur, of course, from Maude and Golden Girls was in her, like in her 40s or 50s. Like, some of us start a little later. Sometimes everything you do in life is going to serve you later. Like, everything I've ever done in my life is working for me now. I'm using it all now in some form. So you live life, so when your passion and calling comes, you're ready for it. It's not you didn't waste your time. It wasn't a mistake. You just didn't know back then. I always wished I could find my passion. I'd be at jobs, and people would like devour every article, and they love what they were doing. They can talk about that. I'm like, I don't get it. Now I get it. I can talk organizing, life coaching, music all day long. I found my passion at 40. I found it, and I just went for it. I started from scratch, from complete scratch. I knew nobody. Wow. Well, I knew one person in the business, but that was it. But in organizing, I knew no one. In life coaching, I knew no one. I started from scratch. I think that's the lesson. There's no substitute for hard work.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this, like, for you, right? And how do you know that your passion is calling? I feel like sometimes people might go through life and you know, I do agree with you. Sometimes you're leading up to that moment, and once it's showing up or it's in front of you, you kind of jump on that, right? Yet how do you know that's the time that the calling is there for you? Because sometimes people don't realize that, and they unfortunately go on to another world without even ever realizing that, right?
Great question. One, you have to be open to the universe, to God, whoever you believe in. Okay. Number two, if you can't imagine doing anything else, that's when you know. Okay. That's my opinion. Yep. I can't imagine if going back to a cubicle in the office, I feel like would be the death of me. Yeah. I mean, I really feel that with every fiber of my being, that if I had to go to an office job and sit and push papers, answer the phone, I literally would just jump off the window and kill myself. Right. And I say that not to be flippant, because suicide is a serious thing, but I'm just saying that's how serious I feel about it. That I can't do anything else. I love what I do. This business that I'm in, being a solopreneur, being an entrepreneur, whatever words you want to use, is not easy. No. You know it. Right. Not easy enough for the faint at heart. It's a lot of hard work. I can't imagine anything else. Right. I really can't. I just really can't. And every job that every career I kind of add on to me, because I did start out just doing organizing, then life coaching, then I was a radio host, then a TV host, and then I became an author and a musician. I mean, I always start adding on, but everything I've added on clicks and fits into what I want to do with my life. Yeah. Every morning I wake up excited that I'm going to do the things I'm going to do. Right. Right. That's how I know. That's why I feel like you should know that's what you're calling. There are things that will come into your life. You may think of your calling at first. And that's what I say. It's a good question you say that. You may go, I want to be a musician. Okay, no, that's not a bad example. I want to be a TV producer. You start going to producing, and then you realize, I just want to be talent. Yeah. So maybe that's your calling is talent. But at first you're thinking, I want to be a producer.
So someone is attracting you.
Yeah, someone's attracting you there. Right. But you actually, something clicks. I always call it the click. Yeah. Something clicks, you go, oh, I just want to be the person that comes in and just, everybody else do everything, I just do the work. And I think that's when you go, that's my calling. Yeah. Not everything you try is good for you, but you should just try it anyway. Right. But I feel like the clicks will happen, and you'll just, if you're open to the universe, you'll just know that's your calling. Yeah.
So for you, maybe at the age of 40, you're like, enough is enough. I don't want to be doing this cubicle work or office work, whatever the case may be. And, this gut feeling, you follow that gut feeling, this calling for you, this opportunity that was there for you. And one thing that I tell people a lot is that opportunities, they're there all the time, except we're so blind and we cannot see them, and sometimes we don't want to recognize them. They're there. We just got to be able to go. And so this for you was one of those opportunities. You're like, you know what, there's something for you that you can do here. And so you started first with just one thing, and then from that it led on to multiple things which you're doing, right? And that's kind of like the same thing for me. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they start with just one idea, right? And then from there they start building upon that. And so when I left my job too, and I'm like you, if I could have gone back and I could have quit my job a lot sooner, I would have done that. And I think I would have been in a different place today. Yet I was afraid of that fear. It took me like 7 months to quit my job. I lost everything because of that. And even though the money was good, I was not satisfied. So I decided that I needed to do more, in terms of, doing something more in my life. So anyways, I left my job to do my real estate investing business. And that was the only thing I thought I was going to do. And that led to a book, led to being a co-host on another book, led to this podcast show, led to meeting people like you. Like it just is that ripple effect that I think as an entrepreneur is not easy, and there's always going to be multiple things of I would say streams of income or ideas that come into your life. Is that how you see it too? Like
Yeah, my thing is, I will amend your statement and say that you came into this when you were supposed to come into it.
Okay.
I believe in language, so I tried never to say, like, I should have did it earlier. So for me, I'm like, no, you did it when you were just time to do it. I mean, like, if I tried this at 30, it may not work. I mean, maybe I wasn't ready. Yeah. Maybe I wasn't ready at 25 or 35. But at 40, the time when you started, you were ready.
Yeah.
So I always say, forgive yourself. We're always harder on ourselves than anybody else. So forgive yourself and just go, okay, I wasn't ready at this stage, but this stage, I was ready to strike out on my own, become an entrepreneur, and now you're successful. That's how it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
That's how it's meant to happen. Yeah. And I think problem with people is they're just afraid. It's all fear. It's all fear-based. It's just the unknown.
Right.
Everyone's afraid of the unknown. What if? What if? What if? It's like you have to get rid of that language. And another word that I got rid of is perfection. Any word variation of the word perfect, there's no such thing as a perfect time or a perfect job. Right? There's nothing perfect. It's life.
Got it.
And you just want to find something that works for you, that feeds your soul and makes you happy. And for me, the third thing for me is affect change in the world. I want to affect change in the world in a positive way. So anything that I do has to be some kind of positive thing.
Exactly. Serving others.
Yeah. Part of the community. We're all part of the same village. My fans and followers know I'm about the village mentality. I come from cultures where you respect the elders and you help the young folks and you all work together to make a better society.
Yeah, and one thing to that, I always say that we are all in this ride called life together, right? So let's enjoy it and help each other out as much as we can, because we're all in it together, at the end of the day.
Because what you do does affect me.
Right.
What I do affects somebody else. You may not even know who he is, or may know who I am.
Right.
But what we all do does affect us, and there's a ripple effect. It affects in the world.
Right.
So what you put out.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's part of that. I do believe that energy that's being put out, and I know I come from a heart that I want to put out positive energy. I know you do too. And so it's part of that helping out as much as we can, and just putting out good energy out into the universe. So you talked about a couple of habits, right? Obviously you write down notes and you create a game plan. What other habits do you have? Because you have a lot going on, right? And so what other habits do you have on a day-to-day basis that are going to be useful for anyone listening to us that they can start implementing in their lives?
You can't see it off to the side of a giant wide of whiteboards. I love me some whiteboards because two things. One, you can write stuff down and see it. But secondly, you can erase. So it's like, sometimes you write down on paper, you can't always erase things. But on whiteboards, you can erase. And that's why I like that. So I did this. Also, this is what I did today, this morning. I have little sheets of paper with things that I need to do, each with a task. And so I have all these tasks I'm going to try to do today and tomorrow. And I have these little things written down. And so when I finish one, I have my pen, I check it off, and it's done. So I have about 20 things to do here. That's normal. But I write it all down, and if you don't do it this way, but I like writing stuff down. I'm a visual person. I like to see stuff. So I write it down. I feel like also when I write it down, if I do it on a whiteboard or here, I have to do it. Yeah. It's almost like, say, when you speak something into the universe, that's your intention. I have to write it down. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and it's like it's also part of, and I do the same thing. I do something very similar. I have a notepad, and I put the date and what do I need to do today, and then when I'm done, I have a little square and I do a check mark. And Jim Rohn talks about is going that extra mile. A lot of times when you put it on paper, you're more committed, and then once you check it off, you actually feel like I've done something today. I feel that self-accomplished for today, which now I'm ready to attack the next thing over, right? And so it's all psychological, I think.
Mindset.
Yeah, mindset, exactly. And so, you know what? And that actually leads to my next question in terms of mindset is, you know, what do you have to do or still doing when it comes down to working on your mind? Because a lot of times it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You know, like for me in real estate, I can teach somebody how to become a real estate investor. I can give them the tools. I can give them all of the ins and the outs. However, if your mindset is not in the right place, it's not going to work. And that really goes with any kind of business, right? So what do you do or you know, in terms of that?
I pray and meditate. I do both.
Okay.
I have a giant garden, which he knows, and there are times I go in the garden and I'll work in the garden and I'll meditate while I'm there or pray while I'm there and talk to God. I like pulling weeds and watering. Sometimes the most calm, peaceful thing for me is, especially in LA, not today, as we're recording this, but if there's a warm day and it's sunny, I'm in shorts and a tank top, and I'm just watering the garden, and I'm like, and it's quiet, middle of the day, it's quiet, birds are flying, unicorns are leaping, the whole thing. And I'm out there, and sometimes I just zone out.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, I'm mindful of my watering, but I'm like, I just kind of like, I feel blissful. And I'll do it sometimes in the middle of the day. I think sometimes for me, breaks in the middle of the day are the best things on earth. Naps. I take naps.
Okay.
My friend David Benish, who's high-ranking officer at his company, takes naps. And he's older than I am and looks younger than I do.
Wow.
And still plays hockey and plays tennis and so he does all this stuff. But he was like, naps are the best thing. So for me, there are things in the middle of the day that I do for myself. It's like taking a break. If I can. Most days I can. Some days I can't, the way things are set. But that does help me reset my mind. Your brain has to rest.
Got it.
I used to be a nurse, so I know all that that's medical stuff about that. But I just know for sure that I sleep. I tell you, I sleep 7-8 hours a night. I go to bed and I sleep soundly because I need to. And if I need any help, they have gummy bears that have like melatonin. I drink certain chamomile teas before I go to bed. I don't eat late at night anymore. And there's things I do so I can ensure that I sleep, because sleep is the best friend to you. I say this, and I have like 20 blog posts about sleep. People don't get enough sleep. And so I sleep 3 hours. I sleep 4 hours. Why?
Right.
And why? You can still get stuff done if you organize yourself correctly. Yeah. You don't need to have 18 hours a day to do stuff all the time. So for me, and also mindset, there are days when I do shut off by 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I don't take phone calls. I don't take emails. Sorry. And I tell people sometimes. I remember just a little quick story. I went on hiatus for, I think it was 3 weeks, just 3 weeks, during the whole Christmas, New Year's time. I do it every year. My studios go dark, so I have no shows. And so I take a break from everything because I do so much. I need a break. Now, I may go somewhere. I may not. I may just be in my room, watching television. Who knows? But I make an announcement. I will not be available till January 3rd. You know what happened, folks. A million folks still were saying, I know you're on vacation, but like, no, there's no buts. There's like, I need this so much because I do so much. I need to unplug. My body has to calm down and reset itself so that I can be creative, so I can be productive, so I can do all these things. I do it several times a year. I recommend it to you guys. My business still lived. Life went on. I had multiple streams of money coming in those couple of weeks. It was fine. But I set up for it, and then I take that time off. Life will be okay.
Yeah. And you brought up a good point again. And again, if you guys haven't listened to a lot of the things he's talking about, we're talking about priority management, not necessarily time management. Is prioritize what you're doing. The one thing you're talking about right now is like, again, I like reading too, or now I do. I didn't before. So now which is kind of weird because I didn't like reading. And yet I wrote a book.
Yeah, I know.
So
there you go. I love reading. I'm a voracious
reader. That's one of my habits that I do now. So I read now, and right now my goal is to read at least a minimum of 2 books per month.
Okay.
So, that's what I'm working on. So far, I've done good for this year.
Okay, it's good. Okay, it's good. Okay, it's good. Yes.
So anyways, one of the books that I read is the 4-Hour Week. And in that book, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about is exactly what you just said in 1 sentence or 1 minute, right? Is, you have to say sometimes no or shut off the emails or shut off whatever because you need the time for you. Les Brown also talks about, he won't waste his time, not in that sense, but he won't waste time if it's not useful, right? Like, he's not going to just give away time just to give away time, because time is the most precious things that we have. Oprah will tell you when she goes into any meeting, she said, okay, what is this about? What are we trying to accomplish? She doesn't even want to talk about, like, what are we trying to accomplish today in this meeting, to see if it's even a point of having that meeting, right? So again, a lot of those habits that we need to be able to have and learn, and it's not that you're trying to push that person away. Is that we all have to make sure that we're working towards something bigger and greater. Right?
I'm so glad you brought it up. I think also as an entrepreneur and as a person, time is money. Mm-hmm. Time is precious. Time is yours, and so I don't suffer fools lightly. You waste my time, I'm out. I let you know how I feel, and I'm out. My thing is, I treat your time as serious as you should treat mine. That's another thing. You teach people how to treat you. Yeah. That's another thing too. You have to work. That's another story. But in terms of time, I feel like everyone's time is valuable. And so if I set a meeting up at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 9 o'clock or even sooner and be ready and be present, fully present, not just there, but be really present and go, okay, what are we doing? If we're there for an hour or two, whatever, that time is yours. And I fully believe that. And the same for me. If you request time with me, not that I think I'm a better person than you or I have big ego. It's like, no, I have a million things I'm doing. So if you don't call me at 9 o'clock when you're supposed to, I'm out. I may give you a couple of chances, but other than that, I'm like, I'm done. And I've done blogs on this and stuff, and shows on this, that we should respect each other's time, because time is money. Time is right. It's a lot of things that go on with time. Time is our currency. I mean, much of our currency.
It is. And just like a currency is being depleted from your bank account, time is being depleted away from your life too. So we have to be very mindful of that.
And I like the whole thing about being succinct. It's like you just sometimes, for me, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna send you an email. Tell me what you want. Yeah. Just tell me what you want, and then we'll go from there. One of the things that bugs me the more is that, hi, I want to talk to you about something. Okay. Well, I'm like, well, just tell me what it is. Like, just say what it is. Yeah. Like, don't play the bait thing. It's like, just tell me what it is. Yeah. I mean, I know some people are afraid and scared to ask people for stuff. I understand that sometimes, but it's kind of like, just state your intention. Yeah. And because don't waste my time and let me know what's going on. And the worst thing that anybody can say to you is no, right? That's just and no is, who cares? I mean, it's like, then you move on to something else. At least you have the accomplishment of knowing that you stepped up to someone and you asked them what you needed. It may not be a good fit. Yeah. And I always say that when God closes doors, to me, he's making you narrow your focus to your purpose. Right. Yeah. The doors are being closed on purpose. There are jobs I wanted really bad. I thought, oh my God, I want that job so bad. And I didn't get it. I was devastated. Now I look back on it, it really was meant for me. Yeah. The long run.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I just want to add one more thing to that. I had actually a similar situation where, I was afraid before to being very straightforward, because I'm like, I feel like I'm bothering them or something like that. And my mentor, Marshall Silver, I've been getting trained by him for quite some time. And he said, like you said, just state your intentions. Just, you're not going to lose anything by asking. So now I'm very, fortunate. I've asked, and, there's people say, nope, I'm not interested. Yeah, there's whatever the case may be. I'm like, all right, fine. And then, so this couple of months back, my mentor, he was flying back from San Francisco to Carlsbad on his private jet. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use what he's been teaching me. Ask and you shall receive, or you're going to get a no. I'm like, all right. So I'm in San Francisco at his event, and I said, hey, do you have an extra seat in your private jet to go back to Carlsbad, SoCal? Because obviously I was asking for me. I've never been on a private jet. And so, I'm like, if he says no, well, then, I did it just like he told me to do it, right? Yet he actually said yes. He gave me the opportunity to come on that. So again, you just never know, right? You just ask, right?
And it's funny. I like the story, and it's funny for me. I do a lot of podcast TV shows, so I have to ask. Now I'm getting more guests coming to me, but I usually have to ask a lot of celebrities and their PR people to be on my show. Yeah, I've done this portion of my life about 5 years. I'm actually celebrating this month. Only 3 people have said no. Mm. And I've interviewed hundreds of people. Yeah. So only 3 have said no. So
you did mention that to me. Yeah, you did get me. That's right.
I got a few no's. I got one no. I'm shocked I got no by that person. They ain't doing nothing, baby. I won't shade them and tell them it is. But almost every single person I've asked said yes. And you know what's funny? And this could be in anything. Some folks are like, no one's ever asked me before. Mm. It's almost like the prettiest girl in school doesn't go to the prom because everybody thinks she has a date. Mm. Yeah. I always equate to that. Yeah. So I've had people go, sure, I'll be on the show. No, I've never been on a podcast. You've never been on a podcast. You're an Emmy Award-winning actor. Like, there are folks who are just afraid to ask. Yeah. And so there are folks out there who want to work with you. They want to help you. They want to collaborate. But no one's asking. Right. And so that's the thing. My lesson was, a closed mouth don't get fed. So, and I like to eat. Yeah. Right. So, and he knows that. Yeah. So I ask. And like I said, they can say no. And I know I have a good product. I know that I'm good at what I do. When I go for a client from organizing or life coaching, I kind of have to sell myself to them too a little bit. But I know I'm good at what I do. And I'm like, I also know that I may not be a fit for them. And that's okay too. Yeah. So they say no. I've had a few clients turn me down too, not because of me personally, just that my style wasn't their style. Right. And also knowing that is still free and liberating too. I'm like, oh, it's fine. They don't, I'm not their style. It's fine. But no is okay. No, it's not going to kill you. It does hurt after a while sometimes. You get a lot of rejection, but it just builds character. So keep going.
Well, and with that is, I think you got to step into your fear. I mean, if you're fearful, just step into the fear. One way that you can diminish fear is by doing it anyways. Mm-hmm. Because if you're, at the end of the day, if you're still breathing and here, you're fine. So I have two more questions for you because I know we got to wrap it up. So the first question I have for you is, you have so much going on. Yeah. So what are some of the things you do for fun?
I'm sorry. It's all for fun. I know one part. Well, that's a very good point. And part of it is, a lot of it is my job. So
eating, going out and checking all this.
That's me. Everybody follows. I eat everywhere. That's my fun part. But I just want to talk to that point really quick. That sometimes your work, it is fun. It can be all consuming. Yeah. But you have to separate. I go with people who are not in the business. Okay. I hang out with folks who don't do what I do. I call them civilians. I hang out with the civilians. They don't know what's going on. Yeah. And I can talk. I say, tell me something boring. Tell me something. I'm joking, of course. But tell me something that's ordinary. Just talk about the kids. I have grandkids and kids and grandkids. When I go there, I'm just Papa Jamie. Like they don't really care about what I do. They do a little bit, but not really. So I play with them. It's just I go to regular soccer games. Things like that are just because I live in this extraordinary world. I get to do these extraordinary things. I get to meet these extraordinary people that I need something to balance that. And that's like, I'm not saying my civilians are extraordinary. I just mean that I'm in worlds that everybody's not in. That I can do some things that everybody else gets to do. But give me some regular life on the side. And that's, card games, dinners, like I said, go out to eat, try new locations to eat. And actually, we're gonna do what's be part fun, part work. We decided we're going to go to all the pizza places that have the make your own pizzas in LA. I'm going to film it for some. That's not sorry, but that's be fun.
When are you going there?
I don't realize you should come with me and do it. Yeah. You can be my show. You can do it with us. Yeah. Like Mod Pizza, Blaze Pizza, Pizza Rev. They're always make your own pizzas. And I want to try something to open that.
All right, you need to let me know about that.
That's about that. Yeah. But you're smart. And I go to the beach. I go. I have like my garden. Those are things that are not part of I don't make money off of them. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I need that. So also paint. Because I don't paint for money. I did sell a couple of my paintings, but I don't paint for money. I paint because I just like to paint. Yeah. So those things are kind of what I do off to the side.
Okay. Cool. And then in terms of obviously going from where you were to where you are now, and with the idea that you really can overcome anything if you set your mind to it, what would be your best advice to the listeners and the viewers that they too can overcome anything in their life?
I just think life goes by really fast and the world really is yours. And I know for some people, depending on where you are and who you are, the obstacles seem really tough. For some of us, it could be because you're a person of color. It could be your sexual orientation. It could be because you're a female. It could be because you live in the South or you live in the East or money. And I know there's a lot of things. There's so many reasons not to do anything. Right? Yeah. We just stay in our houses and close the windows and then just like that. But that's not life. Life is meant to be lived. And I saw a quote the other day that was, someone says, you only live once. They're like, no, you only die once. You live every day. Yeah. I forgot who said it, but I love that quote. every day is a chance to live. So why not have the best life you can while you're living? Yeah. And things are tough. Life isn't fair. There's no substitute for hard work. All those things come to play. But in the end, you should still try. Yeah. I know it's tough. Try to get a support system with you if you can that can support you in doing this. And you really can. I mean, we both have overcome things. You have to listen to our other stuff that we do. Yeah. That we've overcome things that seem maybe impossible or people falter. But we've made it. And I think that's the biggest lesson is that anybody can, I mean, there are people who come from nothing and they make it. It may not be an easy path. Life isn't easy, but you can do it. Yeah. And you can overcome anything. I mean, you really can. And as a person who was paralyzed, a person who was violently attacked, all kinds of things have happened to me. Being black, all these kind of, I've had a lot of things happen to me over the 50 years of my life. And I'm here. Yeah. I'm still moving around. I'm still doing stuff. And I think I encourage all of you to be open to the universe and just keep plugging at it.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's awesome. And I really appreciate it. And we're going to have to talk about that other story because I think it's very powerful for people to hear that. So, James, where can people find you? I mean, I know you're all over the place. So when can people find you?
It's so simple, everybody. You can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold on social media platforms at James Lott Jr. It's everywhere from LinkedIn to Facebook to Twitter, Instagram, James Lott Jr. Just start there. Follow me on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, James Lott Jr. there too. The only thing that's different is YouTube. I'm at JLJ Media on YouTube. Follow me there. Also, Google my name, James Lott Jr. That's Lott. All my stuff pops up. I mean, literally, I'm on the first page. You don't have to worry about that. You just go on there, you start there, but it's just James Lott Jr. everywhere and follow me.
Yeah, and I'll definitely put that information here too. Either way, but you can find him at James Lott Jr. everywhere.
Yes, everywhere.
So, James, thank you so much. I had a wonderful day. I mean, I really enjoyed this conversation. It was very, very, very good.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much. And, I'm glad that you were here. And for all of you guys, that are watching this, please do me a favor. Go to Spreaker.com. Like, subscribe, definitely follow this. Tell your people, share with everybody. Once again, thank you so much and have a wonderful day. And we'll talk to you at the next episode.
Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like life is against you? Do you feel like you can't get ahead? Well, we have a podcast for you. You can overcome anything with CesarRespino, real estate investor and real estate coach, NLP practitioner, and author of the book of the same name. Cesar will show you a way to overcome anything in your life through talking with people from all walks of life that have done just that. You can overcome anything podcast available on Spreaker.com.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you tuned in to this podcast. You can find me at Spreaker.com, where you can like and subscribe. And to learn more about myself and my services, you can find me at www.CesarRespino.com, or you can also find me at Facebook under CesarRespino. Once again, thanks for joining me. I am looking forward to having you at the next episode, and know that you truly can overcome anything.